It's no secret that Fire Emblem Engage stirred up a fair bit of controversy with the design of its main character. Alira's red and blue hair color, to me, always seemed like a rather obvious but completely unnecessary reference to the Joy-Cons of the Nintendo Switch. As I'm sure we all know, however, the internet memed the hell out of this approach by affectionately nicknaming the character Colgate, among other things. Really, though, for as much as Delir's design has been memed on, I don't think they're nearly the worst offender when it comes to lackluster character design in Engage. Today, I want to take some time and go over my own personal issues with the game's art direction. Before we go any further, though, a disclaimer. I am not an artist, nor am I a professional character designer. I'm a writer, and analyzing stories is usually my bread and butter. This video is going to be a bit of a step outside my usual comfort zone. I have, at best, a rudimentary grasp of color theory, and most of my knowledge about character design comes from watching other videos on the subject, as well as a handful of art classes I took in school. In short, while I may not be able to provide the most in-depth critiques, I'd still like to share my thoughts and opinions on the subject, since that's ultimately the main point of this channel. I mean, one doesn't need to be a gourmet chef to talk about the food they eat, right? So, yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get started. So, Engage has three main artists credited: Mika Picazo, Takafumi Teraoka, and Hiromi Tanaka. The latter two are actually veterans of the series, but Mika Picazo is a newcomer most well known for her work designing various VTubers. She is also, unfortunately, the one most point to as the reason for Engage's controversial character designs. Now, let's just get one thing clear. Mika is not the sole problem here, nor do I think it is fair to attack or ridicule her. Intelligent Systems went out of their way to bring her aboard the project because they like her bright and vivid style. And if anything, a lot of the issues fall more on the art direction than the artists themselves. Attacking or harassing people, online or in real life, just because you find fault in something that they worked on is childish, petty, and ultimately accomplishes nothing. Now, a lot of people will criticize Engage's art direction as being too anime, but that is honestly a really shallow criticism in my opinion. Fire Emblem has always taken inspiration from Japanese animation aesthetics. No, in my opinion, I think the biggest issue that Engage suffers from is style over substance. The key thing about character design is that it should tell you about the character it's attached to. How they dress can be an indicator of where they're from, scars or injuries can hint at past hardships they've faced, etc. This seems like it should be obvious, but honestly, very few characters in Engage actually adhere to this principle. I mean, most of the characters in this game are supposed to be soldiers or warriors in some capacity, but the majority of them look like they're dressed for a ball rather than a battle. Now, sure, you can make the argument that plenty of characters in previous entries also fight wearing dresses and dancer outfits, or in some cases, basically their underwear. But even then, you can make an argument that their attire is generally designed this way to better highlight their characters. Engage, however, already goes out of its way to give everyone multiple outfits, including casual wear that they don in the Somniel. Granted, some characters do take advantage of this, but a lot of them go from one form of casual wear to another when it's time to fight. For example, let's take a look at Etienne. Remove the quiver of arrows from her official art, and would you ever be able to guess that she's a soldier, much less a royal retainer? Hell, would you even be able to tell that she's an archer from such dainty-looking attire? At best, one would expect her to be a mage or a healer based on conventional tropes associated with that kind of design. Also, she's running around with her stomach exposed to try and show off her abs, leaning into the idea that Etienne is supposed to be a fitness nut. But if she's an archer, wouldn't it at least make more sense to show off her arm or back muscles? The parts that would actually get toned from wielding a bow? What's especially infuriating about this is that some of the enhanced classes actually resolve this sort of issue. I mean, have you guys seen Bow Knight Etier? Now this is a soldier of Firene. Or is it? That brings me to my second issue. A total lack of cohesion among the main cast. What do I mean? Well, as I said before, a character's appearance is often used to offer some clues about where they're from, especially if their place of origin is actually important to the character. Unfortunately, if you were to ask me what the unifying aesthetics of any of Engage's nations are supposed to be, I'd have to tell you that I honestly have no idea. I mean, Etier and Boucheron show up at the beginning with an orange and green color scheme, making you think that those are supposed to be Firene's colors. Then you see Citrine's retainers rocking white and gold for no apparent reason. Oh, and don't even get me started on Jean. Firene is supposed to be this medieval fantasy kingdom loosely inspired by France, but here's this kid rocking a getup and accent straight out of some vaguely steampunk Victorian England setting. Like, without context, would you ever guess that he's supposed to be from the Kingdom of Flowers? This issue permeates to all of the game's regions, mind you. Illusia is supposed to be this cold tundra area covered in snow, but its princesses are dressed in an evening gown and an idol outfit when they go into battle. Their retainers are also a complicated situation because I'm pretty sure Goldmary is the only one that's actually from Illusia. Two are from locations that we never even get to see or visit, and Zelkov is from the desert. Honestly, I kind of like his design, minus the random keys that he has stitched into his coat for no apparent reason. I could go on, but I think the point has been made. Simply put, Engage's character design isn't too anime, but it does seriously lack cohesion. It doesn't feel like a great deal of actual thought was put into the appearance of its cast. From a visual storytelling standpoint, the game falls flat. At least Alir's infamous Joy-Con hair actually has some narrative significance. But again, none of this is meant to be taken as a personal attack on anyone who worked on this game. I do not condone harassing any of the artists or art directors involved with Engage. I only hope that the next Fire Emblem title will aspire to do better than Engage in this regard. It's fine to have characters who are at least a little flashy over the top, but let it at least serve some purpose. Those are just my opinions on the matter, though. What do you all think? Do you like Engage's character design, or should it have tried to tone things down a little? Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and until next time, stay bright.